Hey gamers, the Red Dragon here from BattleStrats.com, and I'm here with Lost in Place.
Hey everybody, what's happening?
And we're having a little discussion here about Homefront, so we thought we just might as well just record it and put it up here for you guys to decide who's right or wrong. So be sure you just tell us what you think in the comment section. So this is about the multiplayer Homefront game, and I have more negative feelings than positive, and Lost is Mr. Brightside over here.
Yeah, I am Mr. Brightside. I am definitely fighting for Homefront. We're not even going to talk about the campaign here. I don't really care about single player, so why should you? So we're going to talk about multiplayer only.
That's so ridiculous. They made a big deal about the campaign. That's why I thought it was a bad deal. But all right, so the first thing I want to point out is the vehicles. I don't know if there's just not enough out there, or maybe it's because you have to have battle points to get them, and they don't respawn for just casual users. But something about them just doesn't feel right.
For me, I really like the vehicles. Everyone has a different use, and the powerful ones are harder to get. And, you know, you're not just being dominated by a helo until later in the game, but there's ways to counter it. There's a lot of different drones that can take the vehicles out. I think they are very well done and almost perfect.
Well, I don't like the fact that there's no first-person view, because especially for ground vehicles, if you're on the ground, I've seen it happen where you're right beside a wall or some passage that's narrow, and it just doesn't work. It's like maybe it's not the vehicles themselves, but the walls and the physics, because your barrel will clearly be above a wall, but the wall will still block the shot from going forward.
Well, not really too much an issue for me. I mean, I don't use vehicles in first-person view. I'm a third-person view kind of guy. So I guess I'm selfish because I could care less if there's a first-person view. And I feel the vehicles are very easy to control. For example, in Battlefield, I've tried to fly a chopper, oh god, 15, 20 times. Every time I'm crashing into the floor, the ground. With this game, I was a master pilot right off the bat. Very easy to learn how to fly them.
Well, some people would prefer that, you know, it be harder, so you have to be skillful when you actually have to fly a chopper, instead of the developers dumbing it down for everybody just so everybody can do it.
Yeah, que sera, sera. I like it.
All right, so drones. There are land and air drones. I've got a problem with people just spamming drone after drone. I think you should have at least a limit of just one maybe per life. So if you die, then you can get some more drones. But until then, you just get one per life.
Well, I have no problem with the drones. I think that they're easy to defeat, the ones that are coming at you. If you get a melee strike in on them, 9 out of 10 times it destroys it right away. The air drones, I feel, are weak enough that one full clip it should take you to take it down. I mean, they're a little harder to hit, but, you know, they're weak. I mean, a couple of solid hits, it's down. So, yeah, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah, well, the problem is, and this kind of goes to our next point, which is battle points. What's your overall take on battle points?
Battle points, I love them, man. I think it's a great way. This is something new that they brought to the table. So instead of like getting 5 kills in a row and you get a kill streak reward, every action you do, you get points. So capturing a flag, assisting. You know, once you get a certain amount of points, you can purchase armor, you can purchase a vehicle, you can purchase a drone. I think it's really well done, and I applaud them on the battle point system.
Well, I'll be completely honest. When they first announced battle points and I heard it laid out and the discussion about it, I was actually pretty excited for it. It sounded really good on paper, but now that I'm seeing it as it's being played, it seems to me like it takes the teamwork out of the whole game. Nobody's working together as a team. You're only working for yourself, trying to, you know, just camp for battle points. And just build up enough points, then you can bring out, you know, the big bad boy vehicles.
Well, the teamwork is definitely an issue, but, you know, that applies to any game. If you don't have a group of friends to play the game together, then you're going to not have as much teamwork. And I don't see an issue there either.
See, I totally disagree, because if you look at Call of Duty and their reward system, you remember people sitting around camping for a nuke, and, you know, it brings on cheating. And then if you compare it to a game like Battlefield that doesn't reward you for kill streaks, then I think it's clearly visible that players have more teamwork and Battlefield than they do with Homefront, I think in part because of battle points, because it rewards people for camping.
Well, not to get too much off topic, but Battlefield is a camper's paradise with snipers. You can't deny that. So, I mean, there's camping in every game, and, you know, it's going to be what it's going to be. So, I like campers because I usually circle around behind them and get them from behind. But, yeah, we're getting off point here. So, let's talk about the length of rounds. Red didn't really think they were long enough.
Well, right before we move on, Homefront definitely has its fair share of snipers. So length of rounds, I think they go by way too short. There's just simply not enough time to really enjoy the whole experience with a lot of vehicles on the ground.
Well, you're saying that because it takes longer to get the points. Well, if you're not a good player, that's true. But if you're as good as I am, or as good as Red is here, you can get the points plenty quick enough to get it out before the round ends.
Well, come on. You know, a lot of people are just regular casual players. They want to enjoy the game too. And when they pick up a game thinking that it's going to be a big Battlefield type experience with a lot of vehicles on the ground and you can't ever earn a vehicle, I think that's pretty sad.
Yeah, but they can pull out the Humvees and the weaker vehicles pretty early. I think the battle points are spread out. The amount it costs to earn the vehicles is just right. The round length is in the sweet spot, I think, too. It ends in probably around the 10-minute range. This is about the average. And, yeah, I like that.
All right, well, what do you think about the whole conquest domination type game type that Homefront has, ground control?
Ground control, very unique. It's similar to domination, but once you reach a point, the bases change and move closer to the other enemy spawn. I think it's really fun. It's a best of 3, and I really am enjoying it so far.
Well, one thing that I will give Homefront is that you can hide in a lot of different places. There's a lot of different places you can get into that you wouldn't think to look at until you see somebody kill you from there. And another thing is people can hide around the base and capture it as well, which I think they should have implemented something like Battlefield where if I have 5 people in a room and that base isn't going up because one person is hiding somewhere and I can't find them, I think that's a little ridiculous. At least take it down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me, though. Like, why would you be able to capture a point if there's an enemy in there? You should have to find them and kill them before the thing will capture. So, you know, again, we disagree.
If I'm capturing a fortress and the king is hiding in the attic somewhere, I've still got the fucking fortress.
But you can never truly be king until that king is dead. So there you go.
Alright, so hit detection. I have had some definitely some definite problems with shooting people uphill. It seems like if they're crouched down below a rock, I can see their head clearly, especially if I'm using like a sniper rifle, and I swear I'll have it right on them and it won't shoot.
I really wonder if we're playing the same game here sometimes, because I've had no issues with hit detection. I thought it was some of the best hit detection I've had in any game. What you're describing, maybe it happens. I've never seen it happen, so can't really talk bad about it if I haven't seen it happen.
Well, maybe it's my connection, because I still rarely get into games that have above a red bar and sometimes a yellow bar.
Well, Walmart internet connections usually do that.
It is at Walmart internet connections, I guarantee you that. Alright, so the graphics. I think you and me both can agree that the graphics are not what you would think of as a game that has to sell 2 million copies just to break even.
Well, I'll sum up my graphics in one sentence. Who gives a crap? I'm all about gameplay.
I hear you. I'm all about gameplay too, and normally I don't say nothing about graphics, but when they make your character get stuck on little places in the map, then that becomes a problem. And I don't know whether you want to call it the graphics or the physics or whatever, but also like jumping through windows is terrible. Trying to jump over a little bitty wall that's in front of you, it just gets in the way.
Sometimes there have been issues getting through windows and over walls, but you know, it didn't really ruin my playing experience, so not a big deal for me.
Alright, another thing is spawning in. I actually like being able to see where my enemies are, so if somebody's spawn camping you, you can see them. That doesn't keep them from doing it, though. There's definitely a lot of that going on. We've already covered that. But I don't like the little, I guess, cocking the gun up every time you spawn. And I also hate the fact that you can't spawn on your squad or on a base. You're constantly running from a long distance, seems like.
Well, to counter that, I would say that you can spawn in any teammate's vehicle. So if any 16 of the people on your team have a vehicle and an open gunner seat, you can spawn right into that, so that's good. And like you said, when you respawn, there is a brief 2-second window where you see all of the enemies. So if there's someone camping your spawn, you should know where they're at and go get them. If you're bad enough to get spawn camped, that's not my problem. Sorry.
Well, I think squatting up, though, would solve some issues, again, with going back to teamwork. If I'm in a game where I have a squad, I can spawn and I know that that person's beside me because they stand out further. Well, everybody else here, I guess it's more realistic, but really, what about Homefront is realistic? So, you got to keep things fun, and I think squatting up and being able to have, leaders and give out orders and stuff, especially for a military, type game like this, I think it's necessary.
Well, it would be nice. I'm not going to argue that, but, it doesn't ruin the game experience for me. Now, the weapons, I thought, were really good, I thought. Like, a lot of them I found worthless, to be honest, but there is a gun in each category that is just beast. And I found myself using the ACR assault rifle a lot, the M110 sniper rifle a lot. And there's a lot of different attachments, so I was happy with the weapons.
There is like only the ACR to use, or only that one sniper rifle. I mean, the rest of the guns are worthless. There's not enough gun choices. You would think that the guns you unlock later on would be better off, but a lot of them are burst or single shot. And when it takes you 6 shots to shoot somebody, like in Halo, then you don't want a burst or a single shot. And also, the guns, it's like they have no recoil. This is the one game where I would do a strategy video and say there's really no reason to just tap your gun unless you're at a super long distance away. But if you're anywhere up close, just spray and pray. Just hold down that trigger.
Yeah, not really a bad thing in my opinion. I mean, I usually use the M16 in Call of Duty, and that's a 3-round burst. But in this game, I prefer the automatics. And while there aren't many guns, there are guns that really do work. So.
Well, there you go right there. That's the difference that I'm sure everybody can see. You obviously relate to Call of Duty with the spray and pray, and I'm more, of a, I like things a little bit more difficult.
I like it easy, just like my women.
Alright, game modes. Is 2 enough? Team Deathmatch in this ground control?
Well, it's actually 4 if you want to dig deeper into it. There is the Battle Commander mode, which it's played on the same 2 game modes, but it's adds a twist where if enemies get kill streaks, they're highlighted on your map, and you're given an assignment to go hunt them down. I would like more game modes, but I wouldn't doubt that there will be some DLC here coming in the near future. But yeah, what they got is pretty good.
Oh, one thing I was disappointed in was, they kept on talking about 32 players, 32 players. Well, there's actually not that many playlists with 32 players in it. Ground control is all 24. Skirmish is 16. There's only 2 that are actually 32 players.
Well, that may be negative to some, but for me that's a positive, because when you play the smaller playlist, you may play on the same map, but it's reshaped to fit less people, so it's almost like an extra map. So I don't have a problem with that.
Alright, one thing that bothers me though, and this kind of goes back to the weapons section, talking about how many bullets it takes to kill somebody. It's ridiculous that it takes so many bullets to kill somebody, but yet I can't climb down a mountain at a reasonable rate. I jump 2 feet down the mountain, and then I'm suiciding myself.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. For once, I'm going to agree 100% with you. I really hate the fall damage in this game, especially when you're playing Angel Island. You spawn on top of a mountain that you can go all the way around down a path, or you can kind of try to slide down the face of it, and more often than not, you fall to your death. So yeah, I hate the fall damage too. Totally agree.
Alright, and the classes. You have a few different classes, but really there's no point in it because you can put just about any gun in any class, and there's no perks for that system. So, like, even though there's vehicles on the ground, there's no engineer that can go up and heal you, or medic that can revive you.
Well, I think you're looking at it wrong. It's just they're not classes or loadouts. They are custom slots that you make of these 5 different things. You can make them whatever you want them to be. You can alter every aspect of the class, and it's just they're all custom. It's not like in Battlefield where one class does a certain thing and the other class does a certain thing. You can do whatever the heck you want.
All right, and then I guess the last thing I would point out is the abilities and perk system that they have set up, and I'm actually going to give this one to them. I actually like the way they did that with the point system, so you can add it up however you want.
And they have some really unique abilities too. There's one where you can get extra XP. Oh, there were just a couple that I had not seen, and I thought they were pretty clever with the way they did them. And the points work out well. You're allotted a certain amount of points, and the better perks cost more money, so you can only spend a certain amount of points. So yeah, that was good too.
All right, so I guess that wraps it up. I guess it's for you guys to decide. Those who have played Homefront, let us know whose side were you on? Do you think this is a really good game? What would you give this, Lost?
Judging on the multiplayer only, I would easily say an 8.5. I think there is some minor issues that could use some ironing out, but overall, really fun experience, and I'm going to be playing this for quite a while.
And I'd probably give it a 6 as it stands right now. So, I mean, if they fix some of these issues, I think it could be a really good game. I think it was way overhyped, though. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Leave your comments in the section below. I don't think one person who's camping somewhere where I can't find them should be able to stop me from bringing that down at least slowly, like in Bad Company.
Oh shit, I'm sorry. We'll cut this out. What was the last thing you said?
I don't remember. What were you doing?
I fucking totally just spaced out. I'm so sorry. That was going great. I guess I'll just stop it there. I totally missed your fucking comment and I didn't know how to reply. I'm so sorry.
We should leave that in there. You just say something like, you talk so fucking long.
Alright, hold on, let me stop.